Alright then, welcome to another Chelsea transfer news video, another one daily series at the moment. So do subscribe if you haven't already. I would recommend it. Like the video as well to help me out. We've got some big news today. The Athletic have published about 1 million stories on exits from Chelsea, so we're gonna update you on all of that. There's some updates on first choice defenders, Kukurea, Wesley Fofana, all of that stuff. And then updates on Joao Felix and a big breakthrough on the Victor Osimhen stuff coming last night. So first of all, the exits. There's a lot. So I'm just going to read them out from the Athletic. Very reputable publishment and journalists from Liam Twomey, I think, in particular. So Chelsea are very open to the sale of Raheem Sterling, which would offload his huge salary, about 300k a week, highest paid player at Chelsea. The player is, however, fully focused on the new season under Enzo Maresca. Now, that's an interesting one. We have just signed Pedro Neto, who plays in his position. Mudryk was a big investment for the future. I do not think we're going to sell him or loan him out. I think we just need to keep him at Chelsea, give him a run of games, give him enough time, and hopefully he'll come out good, which I think he will. I do believe in Mikhailo Mudryk. You can see he's working hard, and that's all you really want. But Sterling, he's one of the older players in the team. He's on so much wages, but he does have a good track record playing under Pep Guardiola and this sort of possession system. I think that this could be a mistake potentially if we sold him. Let me know what you think. But moving on to another winger, Noni Madueke, one of my personal favourite players in the team. Chelsea would consider offers in excess of the £28.5 million for Noni Madueke. Ex-manager Graham Potter was one of his biggest advocates of the deal when he signed from PSG. Now, Noni Madueke, this will be an unpopular one, I reckon. He is also trying very hard. He has a little bit more confidence in himself, I think, than Mikhailo Mudryk. And he's also young. He kind of goes under the radar, but he's performed very well for the England under-21 setup. And I think if we sold him to a Premier League rival, Newcastle very interested, I think he would be very good for them, have a big impact in the Premier League. And I think it would be a mistake again. We signed him for 28.5 million. Like I said, Graham Potter was the biggest advocate. He wanted a one-on-one winger, and to be honest, Madueke's not done anything wrong. If we were to sell Madueke, I'd only take upwards of £45 million. I think he's that good, and there's something about him. It just goes under the radar. The fact that he's still young but performs well. I think it might have been because he played in the Netherlands, but now he's at Chelsea. He was starting for us last season, performing well in pre-season, and I think it would be a mistake to sell him. The third exit, talk rumour, Leslie Ugachukwu was expected to part on loan this summer, but he is still at Cobham. He could also be sold, but recouping more than the 23.5 million paid 12 months ago may prove difficult. Now, Ugachukwu was top class in the pre-season, scored 2 goals, and just his overall play, he looked so comfortable when he came off the bench. His possession, the way he'd keep the ball, little flicks and stuff, it was very impressive, and I was like, wow, this guy should probably stay with us. There were reports that he may go on loan to Fulham, as they saw Joao Felix, and I still think that would probably be a great move. But it's saying here from the Athletic that he could also be sold. Chelsea have such a big squad at the moment. We just need to sell quite a few players, not to recoup money, just to narrow down the squad. And we've only got 2 weeks left of the transfer window. I would not like to see Ugachukwu go permanently, but I think a loan would be good. For my opinions for Sterling, I think we should keep him, keep Madueke, keep Mudryk, keep Neto, and then move Palmer to a central position. So we have Madueke on the right, Mudryk on the left, and then Sterling and Neto, who can play in both. Either. So we have 4 wingers for 2 positions, and I think that'll be enough. So onto the centre backs. God, this a lot of exits, as I told you, but keep going, keep staying around for the Osimhen breakthrough at the end. So Wesley Fofana will apparently go into the season as first choice to partner Levi Colwill in the heart of defence. he was a big investment again, £70 million. He had his injury problems last season, but he has such a high ceiling, very highly rated by a lot of people. And that's good to hear that he's going to be first choice. He's going to be given a chance. He did all right in pre-season, nothing particularly special. I thought all the centre-backs were pretty terrible, to be honest. And we've got Man City first, so it'll be interesting to see if after a season out, he will start the first game of the season alongside Levi Colwill against the champions on Sunday. Next up, at left back, Cucurella will apparently be the first choice for Enzo Maresca this season, and he will be the one inverting into the midfield. So that would mean, I think, primarily we'd have Reece James right back, who would then join to make a back three, Cucurella, and then whoever the centre defensive midfielder is. But Ben Chilwell doesn't really have a opportunity. Renato Vega is currently favoured over Ben Chilwell. Now, Renato Vega can play either. He's big and tall and strong and can be that centre-back moving into the back three, or he can play in the midfield. He's actually listed as a midfielder in FPL, which is interesting. So it's not looking great for Ben Chilwell. And the last couple of reports on exits are nearly there. Mark Guiu was slated to go on loan before Samuel Almiron's move from Atletico Madrid collapsed. So we were looking to sign Almiron, have Jackson in the squad, and loan out Guiu. He could now begin the 2024 to 25 season as Nicholas Jackson's understudy after a positive individual pre-season. Now, yeah, he was good in pre-season, but I think as an 18-year-old, you just need to play as much as possible, whether that's in a development squad, whether that's in the first team, whether that's on loan. I think we just need to loan him out, and otherwise it could harm his development, especially if Osimhen comes, loan him out 100%. I don't think it's a bad thing to loan him out. Maybe he was promised that he'd get first team minutes, but I think I don't know why people were talking about it as negative to loan him out. I don't think he'd have a huge impact on Chelsea's first team. I think he did do well in pre-season, but I do believe he's big enough, strong enough, but I don't know if he's experienced enough for Chelsea starts yet. Or however, in the cup, I'm sure he would. I reckon a move to Spain or France, just somewhere, a good league to get double-digit goals starting every week and just get a bit of experience and confidence in his own ability. Next up, another young striker, Mason Burstow. We signed him from Charlton a couple of years ago for like £1 million. A bit of a weird transfer. He is apparently going on a permanent deal, a permanent exit, and he was pictured at the Hull City ground yesterday. So good luck to him at Hull. And finally, Strasbourg are interested in Alex Matos. Now, we signed him from Norwich, I think 1 or 2 years ago. Midfielder was on loan at Huddersfield last season. They did pretty badly. I think it got relegated. It was either Huddersfield or Middlesbrough. I don't know, it wasn't Middlesbrough. It was Huddersfield. Chelsea would like him to join Strasbourg. So, I don't know if this ran down, so I'm going to try to remember. Chelsea want to loan him out to a championship club again. But after permanent interest, there's talk about him potentially leaving permanently. Chelsea would like him to join Strasbourg, but the midfielder's current preference is to join RC Lens in France, and this would be on a permanent deal. If I remember correctly, if it's a foreign move to a different country, that would be permanent. First of all, we can't join Strasbourg on loan. We've already got 2 there already. And Lens, they're not affiliated with Chelsea, so they would want him permanently. But if it is to the Championship or even a Premier League, like Ipswich sort of thing, it would be a loan. So he's highly rated. I think he'll have a big future wherever he is. He's looked good whenever I've watched him. But it'll be interesting to see where he goes this summer, because he's probably too good for the development team, but is not ready for the first team yet. I'd prefer him to go on loan to a Championship or send him to Strasbourg with the option to come back in the future, a bit like Diego Moreira very recently. I won't do the transition. I'll do it manually now. Okay, so now the Joao Felix. Little Joao Felix update. This is getting me excited, this Joao Felix move. There is big confidence from Joao Felix's side. This is Jorge Mendes, I guess, the super agent that's in London talking to Chelsea. Got Pedro Neto over the line. That a deal can be agreed between Chelsea and Atletico Madrid. The Blues are currently in talks with Atleti over the possibility of re-signing the 24-year-old, and there is a growing confidence from Felix's camp that a deal can be struck. Felix is keen on returning to Chelsea, but any move is now dependent on Atletico lowering the asking price of £51.4 million, which the Blues do not want to pay. During his spell at Chelsea, Felix seemed to love the experience, and so much is clear now with his desire to return to West London to play his football. Chelsea and Napoli, that's the next one. That's the Osimhen one. Not getting that just yet. So seems positive. This seems positive about Joao Felix. Conor Gallagher will go to Atletico Madrid. He wants to move now. The manager wants to move. They want the move. They want it all done. They just want it wrapped up. But for some reason, Atletico are reliant on Chelsea for the funds, or there was just an agreement in the contract that they cannot now go against, that one would go one way, another player would go the other way, and Atletico for some reason need to sell a player to Chelsea. For that reason, Omrodin collapsed, and Joao Felix is the only other logical option, really. I can't think of any other, unless we sign back Cesar Azpilicueta, but no thanks. Joao Felix would be a very exciting move, I think. Another sort of winger, but he can do the Nkunku role, sort of an attacking number 10. And I think, I don't know, it's just exciting me. Joao Felix is an exciting footballer, someone to get you off your feet like Pedro Neto. And if he's desperate to join Chelsea, then I'm desperate for him to join Chelsea. So yeah, let me know what you think on Joao Felix. Hopefully it can accelerate now, and today could even be the day. Maybe tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday, so maybe the end of the week it could all be wrapped up. Right, I need to sort this out with the transitions. There we go. Finally, the Victor Osimhen Romelu Lukaku update. According to Sky Italy, Chelsea and Napoli held positive talks on Wednesday, which was yesterday, about the potential transfers of Victor Osimhen and Romelu Lukaku. For Lukaku, Napoli want to pay £25.7 million, broken up into initial 21.4 plus a 4.3 in bonuses. Chelsea have previously insisted that the striker's £38 million release clause is met, but it is understood. Chelsea have now indicated a willingness to negotiate, and I think Di Marzio also have said that Chelsea yesterday kind of softened their stance for the first time and will have suggested that we'll take less than £38 million for the Belgian striker. Now, the reports coming out last night, according to The Sun, that Chelsea are on the verge of landing £85 million Napoli star Victor Osimhen in an extraordinary player swap deal. On the verge of landing. On the verge. That's The Sun. For Victor Osimhen. On the verge. But it's The Sun. But we're apparently on the verge. There's a lot of conflicting reports. I mean, The Sun aren't the most reputable journalists when it comes to football transfers, but that's a big claim to say. Chelsea are on the verge of landing. Now we know that, like I said before, there was negotiations yesterday and there was a willingness to negotiate. There were positive talks, and I think both clubs just want it done as soon as possible. Lukaku to Napoli primarily, but then Osimhen out the door of Napoli, and Chelsea would not say no to Victor Osimhen. This is from The Sun as well. Ex-Blues boss Antonio Conte, now in charge of the Italian club Napoli, wants £97.5 million Stamford Bridge outcast Romelu Lukaku, young £17 million midfielder Cesare Casadei, plus a further £39 million to seal the transfer. Now, I doubt Antonio Conte is requesting that, but the chief director, whatever, the sporting negotiators. So yeah, that is the reports coming out that a deal could be made for Lukaku plus Casadei plus £39 million, which to a lot of people on the internet sounds pretty good. Now, the only sad thing potentially there would be Casadei. He looks like he has a good future, but I think there's no real place for him at the Chelsea squad. We've got so many good other attacking midfielders, but apparently Kepa Arrizabalaga or Trevor Chalobah could be used as a make weight instead, but I don't think Napoli would turn down Casadei, as that's a good young player that will have a higher value in the future, I reckon. Yeah, and £39 million to seal that transfer. We get rid of Lukaku and his wages. Casadei won't be on huge wages, but imagine we relieve ourselves of Lukaku's wages, We lose £39 million. We also lose something similar, something in the region of £40 million for Joao Felix. That's £80 million. But we relieve ourselves of Lukaku's wages, and we get Osimhen and Joao Felix to complete our attack for the next, I was going to say decade, but they're 24, so maybe like 7 years. That would be top class. I really think that Project 2030 would come to life. In 6 years' time, they'll be 30. Maybe we could even bring it forward a little bit. Project 2027, which maybe that's getting a little bit ahead of myself. But thank you very much for watching this video. Like and subscribe. Help me out. Comment your thoughts. Let me know what you think about all of these. Osimhen. We got Joao Felix. All the exits. Alex Matos. Mason Burstow. Mark Yu. Renato Vega. Not his exit. Ben Chilwell's potential exit. Wesley Fofana starting, Ugochukwu's potential exit, Noni Madueke and Raheem Sterling's as well. So comment your thoughts, I'll reply to every single one, and comment on other people's as well, because it's a nice little community here. So without further ado, not starting again, subscribe and goodbye.